Why am I looking at you? You're a picture in a frame. I make believe you're next to me, but I know it's not the same. Why am I looking at you? You're a pixel on a screen. Your animating principle is nowhere to be seen. Why am I lost in a loveless fantasy when somebody real is waiting out there for me? Why am I looking at you? I've enjoyed the years I've wasted, but the time has come to face the fact that none of what I see is true. So I'm gonna stop looking at you. Oh, I'm gonna stop looking at you. Oh.
So, starting at 12:20 p.m., I had my first class. My first national security class. It was online. Through Collaborate Ultra. And as it was the first class, it pretty much entirely consisted of the professor introducing himself, the professor in this case being Dr. French, presumably called doctor because of the PhD or proof of doctorate degree, though I'm not sure if I got the name right. It could be proficiency of doctorship or something else. I think you go by doctor when you're either a doctor or you have a PhD or you're a professor at a college, I'm thinking. After the introduction, each of me and my fellow classmates introduced ourselves to each other. It was there that I learned that the policy regarding sharing video is that you try to do so while you are speaking. But you're not expected to share video throughout the entire class section. Technically speaking, I started my night desk attendant application yesterday, but I finished it in the first hours of today. I recall staying up until about 5:15 in the morning. Despite that, though, I woke up around 8:48 in the morning, earlier than the alarm of 10:36 I set for myself to ensure that I wake up before I had to go on the online class. Which may explain why I think I fell asleep between 2:30-ish p.m. after I got lunch from Harrison Dining Hall and ate it. As was leaving, I said that I would be back for dinner, and I came back at around 6 p.m. ultimately getting this. I had now that I've done it before, it's a bit easier to get to Harrison Dining Hall. I now have confirmation that I'm going in the right way. It's just that a certain path has to be followed due to the construction area around the front entrance of the Harrison Dining Hall building. Even before the addition of this construction area, you still couldn't enter the building through that front entrance due to the need to social distance. Excuse me. But that construction area and the necessary fencing around it does significantly lengthen the journey. Within the construction site, there are materials that create an asbestos risk, to which it's presumably some piping. I have no idea why you can't just use materials that don't create a risk of asbestos exposure, but That makes it seemingly even more important to wear a mask. If you get exposed to asbestos, you won't know for about 20 years. But by then, you would likely be terminally ill from one of the diseases that asbestos causes when breathed in. And through that path, you have to take to get to Harrison. There's also a high voltage unit, presumably either a fuse box or a miniature substation. But thankfully, it's kept securely locked up and has warnings on it. The students within the online class went by alphabetical order of their first name. My name begins with a T, and I was second last. The only one after me being a female classmate whose name started with a V. We all shared our name, our major, why we took the class, and optionally, anything we know about national security. When it came to my turn, I stated my name, Tyler James Mackey, that I'm a political science / criminal justice double major, and I'm experimenting with taking a Spanish class, I said experimenting at the time, but that would be more appropriate if it was my first Spanish class. This semester is going to be my third college semester class. And on top of that, I use Duolingo too. I installed the app on my phone some time ago. That as a student, I said I was a second semester senior. That throughout my college career, I took classes taught by other professors. Dr. Shuram, Dr. Jarek, and Dr. Rubari, in that exact order. Those three professors probably make up the bulk of the classes I took on the political science part of the double major. I think I have a good amount of gold, but I'm short on supplies. And it's left me unable to currently operate this copper foundry. I now have the granite to upgrade the dwarven portal, but not the copper. I've been experimenting with the Owen Greenfoot plus Author of Wrath Druid combined with other Poplust Druids with Thornstorm as well as a stronger stimulant, Alchemist, however, it doesn't seem to work on the double health Moab mode or the alternate balloon rounds mode. On both of those modes, I failed on round 40. Because I couldn't pop the Moab in time. On the alternate balloon rounds, I was given a fortified Moab instead of a normal Moab. And I experimented with hosting a co-op game today, or at least trying to. I picked the intermediate map, Bazaar, on a standard hard mode. I made the match public because I currently don't have any friends in the game. Although, I caught a player was level 27 who had access to the fire hero, but at times it seemed to place random towers. And I showed how I placed down a ninja monkey because that in order to show that tower can pop camo balloons. If I recall correctly, even though I knew a Moab would be coming, and I made an effort to place down a Moab mauler. We lost on the round, around 40, when the first Moab appeared. The majority of the national security class was spent on student introductions, during my own introduction. I also stated that I spent the 10 minutes prior to class looking at the syllabus that was posted through course content, which I did do, and it was there. Then I learned about the war game activity that I now know will be held on week 12 of this semester. I stayed a bit after class, and as it turns out, the class expectations, you're expected to contextually analyze the concepts we'll be going over in the national security class, as well as efficient use of critical thinking. As I worded it when I asked the question of what class expectations would be. Before that and after the introductions, I also asked if the online class sessions would be recorded, to which the professor said he was divided on that, on the fence on it, so to speak. Since there are some valid privacy concerns regarding that, since in some regions of the world, presumably Russia, North Korea, China, Hong Kong, those are the easiest to think of engaging in censorship, though there are probably more. In which, if you say the wrong thing, and you're recorded doing so, you can end up getting in trouble with the government. So the privacy concern issues are very important to think about. Also, on my way back from getting both lunch and dinner, another student opened the Eagle Hall elevator to me. And while I was going to the third floor, it was only we in the latter case of dinner. I struck up a brief conversation with the other student. In both cases, I recall them being male. I often go out of my way to communicate with people, and that's something I said on my application for night desk attendant. I'm also currently 96. Excuse me, on Blues Tower Defense 6. And today was the day I linked my game of Blues Tower Defense 6 to Ninja Kiwi Cloud. Through Google Play, where I have the username of CivilRam33.